Hello. This is the Pillars Golden Moments, and you're welcome. One thing I believe in is that everyone has gold within. God has created us all specially and wonderfully for a purpose. And you out there, you have a special purpose that God has made you for. So you have to understand this and sit still, know the purpose for which you were created, harness that talent or whatever gift God has given you and bring it out for the whole world to see. And that is the main essence of the Pillars Golden Moments. This is a forum where we develop your heart and your hands and every aspect of your life to take up what God has purposed you to be in the light and also to be the light of the world. You are welcome once again, and today we are so privileged to have a wonderful young man. He is a golden son, and I loved him from the first day I met him. I remember that day, but as we speak, you understand why I love him so much. This day we are asking, I have nothing. I have nothing. That is the topic we are going to speak about today. What do you have there? Are you saying you have nothing? Are you really sure you have nothing? Well, come on board and let's speak to this young gentleman. He is in the person of Mr. Ebenezer Entry. He is a CEO of Kharis Creations, and he's doing wonderfully well, especially in Sunyani and all the environs, providing lighting systems for programs, occasions. He's just on the move. And also he's an inspirational speaker, he's a motivator, and also a real professional accountant. You will not believe it. This is one of the secrets out of his, chop balls. Today we are honored to have him. Mr. Ebenezer, welcome so much to Pillars Golden Moments. And it's a privilege to have such a wonderful, soon-to-be billionaire in our midst. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, you can remove your face masks. And please, viewers out there, make sure that you always wear your nose mask wherever you go, especially into public spaces. It's very important that you don't transmit the coronavirus, neither do you also receive from anyone. And always make sure that you also use the hand sanitizers every time and wash your hands thoroughly with running water and good soap. Okay, do it very well. There's a way to do it so that your hands are clean and void of corona. All right, we want you alive to make an impact in life. Uncle, or should I call you? Okay, Uncle Eben.
Anyway.
I have nothing. How did you get about all this success you have chopped? You are saying you've not reached anywhere, but I know even the tip of the iceberg is so much. So how did you start, and what's really brought you this far?
Yeah, I think I have nothing. Where did I start? Where I am now? I think it's something broad.
Yes.
So I think I'll try to take it one step at a time.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I pray that we get to understand the core of this discussion, so that at the end of the day, you out there will know you always have to start from somewhere. You don't have to have everything before you start something. You always have to start from somewhere. So I have nothing. Nothing means void. Anytime someone thinks about nothing, it's more or less like no hope. But I definitely know that in terms of starting a business, if we are to say I have nothing, we are trying to refer to substance. That is where mostly the money, that is where our attention goes first. But personally, I have certain guidelines and certain philosophies which have helped me to this far. Money-wise, you might not have, but you always have to start from who are you, what are your interests, where do you want to get to. That will make you know you really have something. So until you start building from that background of your interests and then what you really want to achieve in life, I think the money will come by itself. So you don't have to focus on the money first. You first have to focus on your interest and how can I help humanity with my interest and passion. So starting from that angle, I think you'll be able to know that you actually have something, but you don't have money. But the very thing you have is what will attract the money. It's not the money which will attract the passion.
The very thing you have is what will attract the money.
Definitely.
But do we even have to think of money first? Is that the first thing we should think about?
Yeah, that is the mistake. I had this adage when I was I'm not old anyway. When I was younger.
When you were younger.
Yeah, I had this adage. I think it's 5 P's.
Five
You know, we
P's.
have
Wow.
5 P's. It was coined by UK military. They coined that 5 P's.
Okay.
Which is proper preparation prevents poor performance. So proper preparation prevents poor performance. So it talks about how to go, before you go to the battlefield, how you have to be well prepared so that you don't go and mess up.
Okay.
So the first time I heard this, I was like, proper preparation prevents poor performance. So it means what is needed most is what you do behind the scenes. It's not about what you have to get.
Okay.
The preparation.
Okay.
Because if you say I have nothing, you can be given 1,000 cedis today. So if you don't have any plan, you've not prepared anything, what are you going to use that 1,000 cedis for? So it always starts from preparation behind the scenes. And that is what helped me personally growing up. That is what helped me. I'm the type, we are 7 in the family, I'm the last but one born.
Wow.
But I'm not the outing type. You know, I always stay indoor, observe, study, try to explore, and then that is what helped me realize, oh, I'm interested in this, oh, I'm interested in this. So that is where the preparation starts. So you always have to start from the beginning to know who really you are. You know your weakness, you know your strength, you know your passion, and you begin to work on your passion. So from there, it's very easy to identify the exact spot to start something. That is how it works.
So you identify your passion. Most of us, you are an accountant, a professional accountant. So
By profession.
By profession, yes. So the passion came when you realized that there was a need for lightning, or it was just your passion to go into events planning. How did you realize that you had that passion?
Okay, let me switch.
Okay.
So right now, let me draw these 2 lines. We actually have the career. I went to school, I did business, I did all the accounting, the management, the administration. That was a profession.
Profession.
Yeah,
Okay.
so from there, I was called by our circuit church actually to be an accountant.
A Methodist
So,
church, right? Okay.
Circuit, like Sunyani circuit.
Okay.
You know, to spearhead the accounts for about 17 churches.
17 churches.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
how we call it. So that is by profession.
By profession.
Yeah. But I realized that I can't stick to just a profession.
Okay.
There is more to me than my certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, even when I was in school, I was just trying to explore other areas. Even when I was in school.
Okay.
I realized that you can get your certificate, it can give you a job.
Can give you a job.
But I can't live by just a job.
Okay.
So that is why the profession. So coming to the lighting and then the events and all that, this is what happens. Personally, I do study myself a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I study myself. I don't waste time studying others. You know, people are good at studying others and all that.
That's a serious statement. Yes.
I don't
You
waste
focus
time.
on your life
Yes.
and yourself.
Wow. We say dating before. I think dating, when we say dating, you know, everyone knows dating. And they say dating is you studying each other. Me, what I do is I do self-dating.
You do self-dating. You hear that? Self-dating. Some of us are dating others, not dating our lives, for us to know the purpose for which God created us.
That really helped.
That's
me.
a powerful statement.
I did self-dating, and then this is what I do. We have 24 hours in a day. Let me say I will spend 6 hours to sleep, which is even more. Assuming 24 hours.
Assuming it's even 8 hours to sleep.
You still have 18 hours.
Yeah.
Let me go and spend 8 hours at work. I still have 10 hours. So among these hours, can't I squeeze some minutes to date my own self?
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah, that is what. So when I started, I was like, okay, I'm interested in. I love screens like IT, you know, even at home. That I just love screens. What I hate is lights out.
You hate, look at that. What he hates is lights out. And now he's a light in, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
so
great.
I just love screens. So
Okay.
you know, I started small with this video editing. I remember when we were in school, we go and write exams. And then instead of preparing for the next paper, I'll just be playing around. I'm not a professional though, but I'll just
do
so I was like, wow. When I check a video, I was like, why is this video dark? Okay, the problem is with lights. Okay. Then how can I improve upon this? So it switched me into lighting.
Okay.
So I asked myself, okay, right now I can venture into lighting. You know, immediately it goes into videography. Your attention will go on sound and light. You know, they are interrelated.
Okay.
So like we have light, we have video, and then we have sound. But where can I start from? Let me improve myself more on the lighting, because I think that is what is lacking. Because people were thinking, you know, after getting your camera, that's all. So I tried, and then I started research, and then I asked some colleagues in Accra who were, you know, into starting the business. You know, I like asking as long as I want to learn. I have nothing.
I had nothing.
But someone will be like, you have nothing, why are you forcing yourself learning all these things? I said, no. I read somewhere in the scriptures, I think Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2, God gave the prophet a vision, and he told the prophet to write it down.
Write the vision down.
And then run with it.
And run with it. Wow.
Yeah, so I was trying to research, you know, the implication of that running with it was like, make the vision plain, so that someone even in hurry can read it and get it.
Oh, okay.
So that even if after leaving that place, that person running can convey the same message, because the vision is so plain. So what I started doing is started writing.
Wow.
I started writing.
Okay.
So writing, what will you need? You need this, you need that, you need
Please.
this.
Viewers, are you listening how he started? Write the vision down. Research on the vision. He had nothing, but he used his intellect. He researched. He asked friends in Accra and those who are already in the business. Please listen carefully. We are learning a lot. So, Uncle, let's go on.
Yeah, so I write them down. I'm like, okay. People go on YouTube to watch funny clips and telenovelas. And I was like, there are also tutorials.
Yeah.
So why don't I start learning?
Oh, okay.
And then spending more time on these videos. At the end of the day, I'll watch, I'll laugh, but what actual improvements will it bring in my life? You know? So I started, you know, downloading tutorials, just studying. I remember I was in a single room. I tried and had this desktop computer, and I would go to the cafe. You know, those days, I think now we have phone hotspot, and like you have to go to the cafe. You go and pay for certain hours, depending on the speed.
Those days.
I download the tutorials. I'll come back home and then begin to study them.
Wow.
Just begin to study them.
Wow.
So I could lock myself. I'm the indoor type.
Okay.
Just studying, just studying.
I could lock my door. I'm the indoor type. You see, the truth is that, as Uncle said, we spend at least 8 hours in the workplace. We sleep for 8 hours. Let's assume you even use 4 hours to bathe and do other things. The other 4 to 5, 6 hours, what do you use it for? That is what creates the difference between boys and men. He utilized that 4 to 6 hours studying, self-love, thinking, I have something good in me, I have gold in me, let me harness it. And he spent time and the little money he had to go to the internet cafe, download information, and he researched, asked, and today he still continues with his story. So, Uncle, then what happened?
Yeah, I think to cut the whole thing short, so by the grace of God, we moved to this broadband, MiFi. I tried, and then I bought something, and now I stay indoor. I have the internet with me.
Okay.
So I download videos, just sit there. Whether I understand or not, I'm studying.
Whether I understand or not?
Yeah, I'm studying.
Wow.
Because there are most of the things I studied some years ago, which didn't make sense, but it makes sense now.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is how
This is
so
wonderful.
with this whole lighting stuff, I came to Sunyani in 2007.
Okay.
So I completed SUSEC, went back to Accra, and then later I came to do my service here. And I realized there were difference between events in Accra and events in Sunyani.
Okay.
That is one thing which really triggered the whole thing.
Okay.
So I went to 2-3 events, and I was like, oh no, I think there's something wrong. What can I do?
What can I do
to help?
What can I do to help?
Yeah, that is where the whole thing started. So I called a friend. I was like, you are having this, you are having that. just bring some here and let me manage for you.
Oh, okay.
So after saying that, I was like, why don't you get it yourself and start?
Why don't you get it yourself?
And then when I called the person to the same thing, so I was like, okay, when I have this budget, how much will I?
Okay.
And I collected invoices, and I was like, okay, now I know what I can use money. Like when I get money, I know I have like something to start with. You see, in the first place, I didn't start with the money, but I started with the ideas and the passion. So now I concluded that, wow, all I need is the money. So how?
Okay.
That is where the whole thing starts. But I'll just make it very brief and straightforward. If you are young out there and then you want to start something, after passing through this first process,
Okay.
the next thing you have to do is to begin to pay yourself. Just assume you've self-employed yourself.
Okay.
You've dated yourself. You have ideas for yourself.
Okay.
So it's now time to begin to pay yourself. And that is what people would tell me savings. But I call it paying yourself. Because anytime you say savings, people are like, oh, it's difficult to save. Oh, the money is not enough. How can I save? They will start giving all form of excuses. But I call it paying yourself.
Okay.
And I categorize saving as an expense. Okay. As we pay utility bills, I take savings as part of that expense. So, national service. Those days we were receiving less than 200 cedis.
Oh, so you started this business when you were doing your national service?
National service.
When
that
the
is
pay
where,
was 200 cedis?
That is where the whole thing.
Okay. Wow.
National service. So what I was doing was like, okay, I won't force to go and rent like a house where I'll be using all a few money to pay rent. Like so I'll just get a simple place.
Wow.
Because it's just me. Yeah. So that is where the whole thing started. So I saved 40% of whatever I received.
40%?
40% of whatever I received. So it's more or less like 10% tithe, 40% savings. So I was paying myself.
I was thinking of hearing the tithe and I heard it.
I was paying myself 40%.
Wow.
Less than 200 cedis. So you can do the calculation yourself.
Yeah.
Assuming you are saving 100 cedis. At the end of the year, you are having 1,200.
Yes.
50 cedis, you are having 600 cedis.
Yes.
So that is where the whole thing started. So it became a discipline. No matter what, I'll pay myself.
No matter what.
Yeah,
wow.
I'll pay myself. So that is where it started. So within some short time, I was like, I've been able to raise this much. Oh, okay. Then let me start something. I bought some few lights. So I was actually sleeping with lights, you know. The bed is here.
You're dating and you're sleeping.
And the lights are over here.
Oh,
I had light for almost a year, but nobody knew what I was having.
Really?
So I was just practicing, learning.
Oh.
I don't...
In your single room?
In my single room.
Oh, wow.
You know, sometimes we have this thing called fog machine. I would just turn it on. And then I remember when I turned it on and someone came and was like, I assume your room is burning.
Burning? That's smoke machine.
Yeah, that's smoke. So
okay.
I was having everything indoor and I was still practicing. I just didn't want to just come out and then just like that because everybody says you have it, so just start. So I started practicing and then one day I had a gig and then
one day. There's always a one day. So you prepared and when the opportunity came, you were prepared for it.
That's right.
Like you spent time acquiring them little by little.
That is what is the key.
200 cedis.
The key. 200
cedis as salary and you were able to save half, about 50% over time, but the little things.
Yeah.
So you really had nothing.
Yeah. But one thing you have to notice that when you give yourself to an attitude, you become an addict to that attitude. You know, if somebody give himself to watching telenovelas, it will shock you that when it's time, whether you are asleep or not, you wake up. Because you've developed it over time, so it has become an attitude. Okay. So the same way with savings. Okay. When you give yourself, like, I don't care the pain, you know, I'm going to save. No matter what, no matter the pressure, I'm going to save. Okay. So it became an attitude.
Wow.
So if you can save 40% from 200 cedis, you can, and you are able to maintain that. If you receive 1,000 cedis, you will still save 400 cedis. So you can imagine. Okay. Because it has become a lifestyle. So that is it.
Wow. Oh, I'm so motivated, and I believe you are too. He had nothing. He started with nothing, but little by little. God even doesn't despise humble beginnings, and everything starts little. Even that huge tree you see started with a little seed. So you first have to date yourself, know your passion and what you have to do. You know, this year we are talking about talents and how to develop our talents. And we are bringing the golden pillars on board to talk to us containing or pertaining to the different aspects of developing our talents. Yeah. That is why we have Eben here today to talk to us about the fact that even if you have nothing, you can make it. And I'm so inspired by what he's saying. Uncle Eben, God bless you so much for motivating us to know that if you have nothing, you can still make it. So from the lightning, you added some other things.
Oh, okay. I observed something personally. I'm not the extrovert type. I'm not the outing type. But I realized that the friends I have around me, always want to stick around.
Okay.
So sometimes I ask myself, oh, what is so different? I later on realized that as I'm talking to you, the very things God teaches me behind the scene, the very things I learn, it become part of me and part of my conversation.
Okay.
So I realized that anyone I have encounter with, one way or the other, pick something.
Wow.
So that is where the whole thing started.
Okay.
So in school days, always a youth leader, right from level 100. In SS, the same thing. It's always with the youth in church ministry.
Wow.
It was like it kept on and on and on. So I was kind of like, it shouldn't always be limited to business and what I can gain for myself.
Okay.
So with the ideas are very expensive. Ideas are expensive. So with the ideas I have, should I keep them to myself? So I later on realized I have to open up to whoever opens up.
To whoever opens up. I like
so
that.
That is where I started talking to anyone I come across. And then what I do is I don't wait for big platforms to give people the ideas and the intentions I have and all that. In casual conversations, I try to reason through it. At the end of the day, after all the laughter, what can we take away so that it can develop us as individuals, And then that is one other thing I discovered about myself. That is one thing. So at a point in time, there was a little traffic at the office place, The youth, most of my colleagues always want to come around. I'm going to Brighton. So I didn't realize it until my boss was like, it looked like, why are these young people always coming here? So I have to rearrange and reschedule, and it was like, anytime someone called me, I'm like, come after 4.
Okay.
So after working hours, I will dedicate 2 hours and stay over at the office. So that whoever wants to come around, you can just have interaction, you can just share ideas and then.
Wow.
So that is the whole thing.
You see, one thing starts and another follows. It's very important. There's so much gold in everyone, and this is a real golden pillar. He's a support to many, and whenever you come near him, you'll be so much inspired. It's a natural instinct. It comes out so naturally. But he started from nowhere, nothing. In fact, I must say to all the viewers that he's the first person who started working on my Kids Golden Moments books. When we started the Kids Golden Moments on Moonlight FM, he was one of the people who came to support me and speak. I mean, he was so much motivational. He spoke so well, and through that I realized he was good in graphics, and he started working on my books. Please, I'd like to have one of my books so that I show it to the people. One way or the other, he would say something that's really motivated me. The motivator also needs a motivator. Eh? So he's one wonderful person. And Uncle Eben, thank you so much for that as well. But Emma, have you written a book already? Because I think this is very motivational.
Yes, I think that was one area I have articles.
Yeah.
I have articles.
The kids' book. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of them.
Yes.
I have articles, I have several articles. And then I think it's time. It's hard time I begin to compile them together.
Okay. So these are some of the books he helped me write. We have a lot of books, and we
I think
launched
those
10
days,
books.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
I remember. I mean, I've written 10 children's books,
Yeah,
and we
I
launched, and
remember.
other books that we have launched.
You could spend some time at the office.
Yes, I used to go to his office after 4, and we used to spend time and write some citations and rhymes and everything. And you remember those days? We are grown. Wow. So you had nothing, and today you are having a lot of gadgets. Sometimes I go to programs and I ask, you even have tracks. I'm like, is that him? Wow. He had tracks and, I mean, cameras, and I was so motivated. So you are an accountant, you are a motivational speaker, a youth pastor, and you have your own business and you are running more. So, I mean, what do you tell them? That do they really have nothing, or do they have something, or they will still have to wait for the government, or I believe God for a miracle? Just say something more to just, buttress the point that if you have nothing, you can still do it.
The point I'll emphasize is that those days, me when I was very young, I think in Tree we say Abayajuma. You school. Try and go to school and come and work as a civil servant and all that. But as the year go by, we realize that it has shifted. Entrepreneurs were rampant. And then even if you had your own business, you could even gain the respect more than the jobs the government was giving. So the point I will emphasize is, don't wait for the government to give you a job. Be the job yourself.
Be the job.
That is the key.
Okay.
And then one second thing I will wish everybody get it right is preparation, development behind the scenes. I had wanted to bring a camera, but I think I'll try and explain. When I was in SS, I was having the old-fashioned camera.
Okay.
That one used this film.
Yeah,
You
I
put
remember.
it inside. After shooting, you rewind the whole thing. And then you take it to the dark room.
Yes.
Take it to the dark room. And it has to be developed through certain processes. The least light, you just spoil the whole thing.
Okay.
So the pictures have to go to the dark room to be developed before bringing out that output. Just like digging gold, you have to go through the dirt and all those struggles. And all those struggles.
Okay.
But now, my professionals will let you know that the most popular software for editing pictures is Lightroom. Now look at the distinction. We have Lightroom. But at first you have to go to the dark room, and it took time. Right now, it's very easy to just take a selfie and post it out there.
Okay.
It's very easy to post anything out there. So everybody's in a rush. Only few are trying to go behind the scene to prepare. So I just use that analogy. Though everyone is rushing, but even for you, just try. Take your time, don't rush. It's always one step at a time.
Wow.
Build yourself, develop yourself. We shouldn't be surprised some people just came up just within some months and years. And then they are no more.
Yeah.
But the one who have really prepared behind the scene, no matter the obstacles, you can face it. So I will tell everyone, don't rush. Don't rush. Just develop your passion. When you are working with passion, it's different from working to expect pay. That is it.
Yeah.
And then one thing I want to emphasize is that don't be so money conscious. That is what the youth nowadays, everything is about money. Money is good, but your work will attract more. The output you give is what will attract money.
Yes.
So it's all about your value, how you develop yourself. And then after developing yourself, that is what will attract money. That is what will attract money.
Wow, okay.
So I will urge everyone out there, don't be in haste. Just develop yourself.
Wow.
And the money will come.
Don't be in haste, develop yourself. Wow. This is what we need to hear. Before you go, I want to ask, what are your hobbies besides lighting and everything? What do you do privately you really love doing?
Okay, personally, I'm the music type.
Music, so you love music.
I do everything with music.
Know.
Sleep with music.
You sleep with
Study
music?
with music. Watch with music.
Everything with music.
Everything
You're a married man, so everything with music.
Everything.
That's wonderful. So do you play a musical instrument?
Actually, you know one interesting thing? Ben Franklin said this, just to answer this question. Ben Franklin said, Jack of all trades, master of one. But that quote it has now been misquoted.
Yes.
They say jack of all trades, master of none. But the actual quote is master of one. So what I do is, a cultured person is someone who knows something about everything and everything about something.
Ah, wow.
So the meaning is that don't limit yourself to, oh, I just went to school, I did accounting, I did administration, so this is my area. No. In any field, try and then endeavor. That is knowing everything about something. You are not going to specialize, but you are trying to know something about it. And the area of your interest, try to know everything about it. So that is what I do. I don't play musical instrument. But at least if you bring a keyboard, I can show you where each key is. And then drum to at least I can play it. I have a fair idea of the various instruments. And then that is it. In every field, I try to learn something.
And I know
but
you
with
manage,
my area, I try to master it.
Wow. And you manage a lot of instrumentalists and musicians. I think recently I saw some Unplugged or some program that you were bringing out some, maybe that one I'll feature one day, but I'll speak, I'll sing only Guy and Ewe and Spanish songs.
No, but I think it was an initiative to just help the youth, you know, those who don't have the means to organize an event. So we created a platform, just come and sing, we record it and give you the content.
It was beautiful. I really watched it so much. God bless you so much. And I've written a lot of citations for you. Remember, they always come to me to write for you, so you know. And I know you, so I know how it is. God bless you so much. But before you go, if you were the president of Ghana, and you were supposed to address the nation within 1 minute, what would you say to the nation?
Within 1 minute?
Just 1 minute. What would you tell us?
I would just tell the youth out there that hard work pays. Don't be so dependent on others to shoot you up. Look at yourself, embrace your own self, embrace your passion, and then fight for what you believe in. Definitely, what is most important is your relationship with God. If you take that one out, you know you are nothing. Because he said, apart from me, you can do nothing. So when you bring these two together, everything is possible. You can climb every mountain and then you can cross every river, no matter what.
Wow. So we heard it all from Mr. Eben. Thank you so much. And before you go, we have a little parcel from the Pillars Golden Moment for you. It contains items that will help you write your own vision charts and where you are going to go. When you open it, you see it. Everything that will help you write a vision from where you're going to be and everything. So this is for you.
Thank you. Thank
Then
you
also,
very much.
we are golden pillars. You don't yet have a golden pillar. So this is an epitome. This is a sign to tell you that you are supposed to be a support in this world. You're already doing it. So continue motivating the youth and everyone that comes your way. Keep motivating them. So this is to say that you have been given an honorary golden pillar. So
That's awesome.
Thank you. So keep it and always remember that mommy has given you this to be a golden pillar. And I believe that you shall lay up gold as dust. Thank you so much for joining us. And indeed, you had nothing, but now you had almost everything. And God is taking you somewhere. We are so grateful. Hello. Okay, so viewers, you heard it all. I have nothing. I have nothing. That is the excuse we keep saying. Last week we learned that excuses are not excuses. So we should excuse every excuse to be able to make it in life. We've heard it all. You have nothing, but remember you have something because God created everyone with a purpose and you have gold in you until you sit down, as Pastor said, and you research and bring out that passion, that talent you have and harness it, develop it. You will not be able to affect your world and you will not be able to stand before great men and kings and queens to showcase the greatness God has put in you. So you have something. Sit down, develop it, think about it, and remember that if you work at it, you will make it. Life is such that it's up to you to make it. Until we meet next time on the Pillars Golden Moments, remember that it's up to you to make it. I love you so much. God bless you. Bye.